Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of BSing Sports here on the BSing Network, where we do a little BS and we talk a whole lot of sports. With me, as always, is Ryan, and proud to announce with us going forward as part of the BSing team is Jake. How you guys doing?
Appreciate it.
You want to express some appreciation online?
No, I'm glad y'all want me to be a part of this. I'm looking forward to it every day.
Awesome. So are we. We do have some new information. We learned, through the process of trying to get everything squared away for BSing to be really successful, that any streams coming on Facebook and Twitter are not doing us any favors. So what we ask is, if you are watching on Twitter, who we couldn't communicate with anyway, if you would be so kind as to flip over to YouTube, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and like the video, share it if possible, if you can, and interact with us on YouTube. That would be fantastic. If you're on Facebook, please do the same. We would really appreciate it if you go to YouTube instead of Facebook, as in the near future, probably the next 2 or 3 weeks, we will be taking the links for videos off of Facebook and off of Twitter. We will still have those handles on Facebook. We will still have the page on Twitter. We will still have our handle, but we will no longer be streaming directly to Twitter and Facebook from StreamYard. We will copy and paste the YouTube and Twitch link to both pages so that you guys can watch however you'd like to watch. So again, please, if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, go to YouTube, interact with us on YouTube, and we'd really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
So those of you who have not been following along, we are in the middle, just about halfway through our season of our gentleman's bet for NFL predictions on the season. I have to draw this out real quick. I hope. Yep. Okay. So going into this week, Tim in first place, 147 and 123. Ryan in second place at 143 and 127. Jake in third place at 139 and 131. Bill in the basement at 135 and 135. Listen, my head-to-head last week was really good. Everything else hurt me. So it is what it is, but let's get into it. Ryan's having some small technical difficulties. He looks like he's getting it sorted, so we should be good to go. And we haven't picked an order yet. I don't think I've ever gone first, so we'll just go Bill, Jake, Ryan, and I will copy and paste that, and that's the order we will go in. So the first game, Ryan, you want to pull up that banner for me, buddy? First game we got is the Browns visiting the Colts. The Browns are favored by 2.5 points. The over-under is 40.5. Again, I get the first pick on this one. So Gardner Minshew in his outing, I am batting 5,000, Gary. Thank you very much. Allie says, I better not lose and end up having to buy Cowboys gear. That's my wife. I agree. I don't want it in the house either. Gardner Minshew really impressed me against the Ravens. However, he did not impress me so much against the Jags last week. I know that, and Ryan informed me of this a few hours ago, Deshaun Watson is dealing with a shoulder injury that the team cleared him to play with, but he's not feeling 100%, so it still looks like it's going to be PJ Walker, right?
I heard other news that it was going to be.
It sounds like Deshaun Watson might actually play through the injury this week.
Okay. Well, in that case, it makes my decision slightly easier on me. I realize that the Colts are home and Shane Steichen is doing great things there, and I'm sure that they will continue to progress and get better. However, I'm going to go with the Browns here. I take them to cover the 3 points. And I'm going to go with the 40.5. I'm going to do exactly what Tim did here. I'm going to go with the Browns to cover and the over. That is what Tim's pick is. Obviously, Tim's not here. We will tell you Tim's pick. Jake, you get second run. Go.
Yeah, this one, I talked up Gardner Minshew a lot last week, and how he did against the Ravens, I was like, oh, he's going to do fantastic this week. I liked him in that offense, and he just looked terrible in the red zone. And he wasn't playing the number one defense in the NFL right now. That is the scary Browns defense. And so with that being said, Deshaun Watson's coming back. Amari Cooper, all the talent there. I don't think the Colts can slow down that offense. So I have the Browns to win, to cover. And with that defense, I think it's going to go under. I think it's going to be a lopsided win for the Browns. And sadly, the Colts take an L.
Ryan.
Give me the same thing Jake said. To a T. I mean, I think that the Browns defense is so good that it'll keep this game at the under. But I think the Browns offense with Deshaun Watson is a much more formidable offense. So give me the Browns to cover, but the under.
See, the reason I go with the over here is I believe that the Colts still get somewhere around 14 to 17 points. So you're talking 24-17 is 41. That's where my head was.
I'm thinking 20 to 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man,
Fair
y'all are
enough.
giving the Colts offense a lot more credit than I am. Definitely seemed like a 24-10 ball game.
And Gary says he thinks it's the Colts. Just his opinion. Gary, thanks for tuning in. Again, if you're on Facebook, please try and get over to YouTube. Let's go into the next game. We've got the Bills visiting the Patriots. It's a interdivision matchup here. That's incorrect. The Bills are favored by 8.5, not the Patriots. That is incorrect on the screen there. The Bills are favored by 8.5, not the Patriots. Apologies again. I did not screen these. We had somebody else, Jake.
That's on me.
I didn't screen them. That's my bad for not screening them. But Jake, you get first pick here, buddy. So you go ahead and you do your thing.
To me, this is a easy one. The Patriots offense just looks terrible right now. They look like they
so
don't
bad. So bad.
What's up?
So bad.
Oh yeah, no, it's terrible. And the Bills offense doesn't look any better in my opinion. They look like they have no identity either. They haven't been able to consistently run the ball, but they do have the better talent in my opinion. And so the Bills win this. I will take them to not cover because it's a division game, and I will take the under. Thank you, Ken Brent. Appreciate that one, bud.
You said Bills to cover or not to cover and the under?
Yep.
Ryan.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take the Bills here as well. I think that's the obvious pick. However, I am going to take them to cover. I do not think that the Patriots are any good right now as a football team on either side of the ball, quite frankly, which is why I'm also taking the over. I think the Bills actually kind of make an embarrassment of the Patriots in this game.
All right, so Tim goes with Ryan on this one. Bills cover and over. I'm going to go right down the middle. I'm going to go the Bills to win, to cover, but the under to still stand. I'm not entirely sure the Patriots get on the board here. And if they do, I'm thinking field goal, solo touchdown, and that is it. So I'm going to go the Bills to cover, but the under because, I mean, still 34-7 is only 41 points, and it's 41.5. So I'm going Bills to cover and the under. Sorry, I got a little tick on my throat here. So if I keep doing that in the microphone, I do apologize. Moving on to the next one where Ryan has first pick. It is the Commanders visiting the Giants. The Commanders are favored by 2.5 points. The over-under is 39.5 for Ryan.
I'm not quite sure what Vegas is seeing here in regards to making the Giants only 2.5 point underdogs. I'm taking the Commanders fairly easy. It sounds like Daniel Jones is a long shot to play in this game. Not that he's been particularly good anyway, because the Giants have other issues themselves, but I'm taking the Commanders to cover comfortably. The only issue here is the over-under. I think that's a fantastic line for the over-under, but I am going to take the under because, yes, the Giants offense will absolutely struggle. I'm confident about that. The Commanders have kind of shot themselves in the foot at certain times this year in their own right. So I don't think either offense gets particularly going very well there, but I'm taking the Commanders to cover very easily.
Yeah, so Tim goes with the Commanders to cover and the over. I'm going to copy and paste what Ryan said, though. Neither of these offenses has impressed me outside of the one game for I guess for the Giants against Arizona, but that was with Danny Dimes, and also the one game against Philadelphia that they lost for Washington. So no, I'm sticking with the, again, copy and paste situation. Commanders to cover and the under. Jake.
To me, this is interesting. I think the Giants look more competent with Tyrod Taylor right now than they did with Danny Dimes. And that sucks because they paid that man a lot of money and he's hurt right now. So I see what Vegas is doing with his line, but I'm still going to take the Commanders. But I think this is a closer game than it should be. So I'm going to take the Commanders not to cover and the over. I think this might actually be a shootout.
Just so I'm clear, you're taking the Commanders not to cover 2.5 points. Okay. And the over. I just wanted to make sure I heard you correctly. You're taking the Commanders not to cover 2.5 points.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, man, if you're right, I'm going to give you a crisp high five.
Interesting.
Let's move on to
That's
the
an
next one.
interesting take.
Yeah. Let's see. I've got the next one here. We got the Lions visiting the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are favored, Jake? Is that right?
No, see, and that's what I had to check. Yeah, it is right. The Ravens are favored to win this game.
At Baltimore.
I mean, I don't want you guys to think I'm frozen.
Forget the Ravens are 4-2.
I don't forget that the Ravens are 4-2. I just have seen the Lions play football. But okay, Ravens are favored at 3.5 points.
That's what I checked before it started. That was the only game I was like, did I do that right?
And the over/under is 42.5. Yeah, that is a little bit shocking to me. Let's throw that up there. Listen, I'm going to go with the Lions on the road here. I think this is one of those intriguing matchups that we don't talk about, or we probably won't talk about enough. But I'm going to go with the Lions on the road here. And since I don't have to choose them to cover for some reason, again, specifically because they're the road team, obviously, I'm going to go with the over as well. I think both offenses the Ravens have really struggled with a lot of drops. Lamar Jackson, if you reel in half of the drops that the Ravens wide receivers have had, his completion percentage is in the 70s. He's not playing poorly. He's playing well. He's unfortunately got receivers who can't catch the damn football, as Devontae Smith would say. But yeah, no. So give me the Lions and the over in this game. Yeah, Tim took the Lions and the over as well. Jake.
Oh, that's me. Man, this feels like a trap game. The Lions' run defense is just too good, in my opinion. And if you try and make Lamar one-dimensional, I think he's gonna throw interceptions. And so I'm taking the Lions. I don't think this actually goes over, so I'm taking the Lions to cover, obviously, because they're underdogs, and I'm going under again.
Ryan, whatever you did, you're looking much crisper now.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm going to actually take the Ravens here. I think that Jake said it perfectly. I'm going with trap game here, and that's exactly what this screams. Look, the obvious pick is the Lions because they are playing well. They look unstoppable, but the fact is the Ravens have grinded out some very gritty wins despite the fact of what Bill was saying. Their receivers cannot catch passes to save their lives. So I'm taking the Ravens. I'll take them to cover the 3.5 point spread because whoever made our chart has forgotten our rule that all of our spreads and over-unders are by half points. So we've got a couple mess ups here today from whoever made our graph, not mentioning any names.
Jake.
And I will take the over. I like the offenses in this game.
I would just like it to be stated that I did say I messed up there and I corrected it. On the board, it's correct. Just he had already copy and pasted it.
Yeah, I said it correctly because I was looking at the board. I completely missed this. So that's kind of on both of us. That's our bad.
It's their bad, not mine.
And also, Tim Hawkins, there is a bunch of receivers on that team, and you're missing the important one. He just happens to play tight end.
TJ Hawkinson.
Andrews.
Wait, what?
I did it on purpose to see if you guys are paying attention.
Wait, what? No.
Come on. I said it so quick. You guys should have known I was messing with you. Did you see my face? No, obviously Mark Andrews is one of the better tight ends in football. All right, let's move on to the next one. I think after this one, we'll take a commercial break. Yeah, so let's move on to the Raiders visiting the Bears. The Raiders are favored by 3.5 points. The over-under is 37.5. And it looks like Jake gets the first pick on this. What a game this is going to be, guys. Fans, this is going to be one of the most epic, amazing games that you never saw because it's not even going to be televised. That's how bad these teams are.
It probably won't even be on Red Zone if we're being honest here. Like they just no offense is going to be scored here. To me, this is simple. I'm going to take the Bears because earmuffs, if you have children around, fuck the Raiders.
The Bears.
Second of all, I
Hold
think
on,
this
hold on.
goes
I'll get
under.
into it.
Tyson Badgett is their quarterback, brother.
And he's going to come out and he's going to not ball, but guess what? I will not pick the Raiders, and that might be my downfall in life.
You know what? Jimmy Garoppolo's also out, so I guess I shouldn't do that. But like, god damn, man. I'm picking a tie in the
Stand
under.
by it. I will not pick the Raiders.
Over under, man.
I said the under.
I missed
There's
it.
no
because-
offense. They'll be lucky to get in the red zone, and this is just all hate. There's no logic here. It's the Raiders game. I won't pick the Raiders.
Tim Brandt says the Raiders suck.
Amen,
Tim
brother.
Hawkins says Brian Hoyer is Brain. I'm sorry. What he says is, and Brain Hoyer is the Raiders quarterback. I believe he means Brian Hoyer. I won't assume anything though. Throwing it out there.
Oh, jeez. I am shocked that the Raiders haven't stuck with Aiden O'Connell because in his one start, he really didn't look that bad.
Correct. Yeah.
But I'm taking the Raiders here. One, the Bears with Justin Fields were not a good football team. The Bears without Justin Fields, who is probably their second best player this year, is a terrible football team. So I'm taking the Raiders. I'll take the Raiders not to cover. I think it's a 3-point game. And I'm taking the under. I think it's 7-6. Like Jake said, these teams might not get on red zone today or tomorrow. Why? Because they might not actually get in the red zone. So who knows? But these teams suck. I am not watching this game.
I have a 10-7 victory in favor of the Raiders. So I also take the Raiders to not cover and the under. Listen, we've already said it. I came out originally and fired away with it. This is such a bad game just for the NFL in general, ratings and situations. I would be surprised outside of Oakland's market and Chicago's market if this game is televised. And honestly, Chicago's market could watch the Lions. Oakland, well, I mean, they're still going to be televised in Oakland. And you know I'm right. Vegas is what I should have said. My bad. Let's see. Ryan gets the next pick at the – oh, no. I'm sorry. We are going to take a quick commercial break. I'm ready with –
Mashup of the week.
And we're back. Apologies for the commercial break. We are just trying to advertise as much as possible that in the next few weeks, we will not be streaming directly on Facebook. We will not be streaming directly on Twitter. So we're trying to really get our point across. Oh, my wife is amazing. Remember how she scared me last week? She texted to warn me this time. I'm just going to pop this headphone off so I can hear the door open. The next
classic reaction, man.
Honestly, I'm glad we had it. We could throw that on TikTok later or something like that. But anyway, back to our loyal fans and situation here. We're going to fire away with the next game. The Atlanta Falcons, who are playing surprisingly mediocre, are visiting the Tampa Bay Bucks, who are playing surprisingly well.
Surprisingly mediocre.
Yeah.
What did you expect from them?
I thought they'd be terrible. So mediocre is actually an upgrade. I think that's fair. Buccaneers are favored by 2.5 points. The over-under is 37.5. Ryan gets the first pick here. Oh, by the way, on the last two, Timmy took the Lions in the over, and he took the Raiders to cover and the over to cover. Oof, Tim, that's rough, brother.
He took the
Good thing you
Raiders
have
to
till
cover.
11:30. Yeah, good thing you have till 11:30 tomorrow to fix that because that is a
All
mistake.
right, we keep changing the deadline for when we can fix our picks. Because last week you said 2 hours. Now you're saying 11:30. What's the time?
What are we doing?
2 hours, 2 hours before 2 hours before kickoff. So 11 o'clock. My bad.
All right. As long as
2
we have
hours before
established
kickoff.
because
2 hours
originally
before kickoff of any individual game.
when we first started this, it was 1 hour before. So that's why I want to know, because it has definitely drastically changed.
Do you want to go back to 1 hour? Because the injury report is released pretty close to game time.
It's released 90 minutes before, which is why I initially said 1 hour.
Okay, so here we are on live. Tim, I hope you're listening. You get until 1 hour before game time, and it's specific games. So the 4 o'clock games, you get 1 hour before, 8 o'clock game, 1 hour before, et cetera, to switch the pick if you choose to. Timmy, I strongly suggest you switch that Raiders covering pick. And the
Unless
over, if I'm being honest.
something drastic happens here, I am not changing this pick. I'm going the Bucks to cover, and I'm going the over. I know both of these offenses suck. Both of these defenses also suck. The Falcons passing game has kind of figured it out the last couple weeks. I mean, Desmond Ridder is Desmond Mitter, as people like to call him, which is true. He's not a very good quarterback. However, they do seem to be throwing the football a little bit more. Drake London seems to be involved. Kyle Pitts seems to be involved. The Bucks, I think that they're just a better football team now. I think Baker Mayfield's playing probably some of the best football that he has ever played in his career, and I think that he has some of the best weapons he's ever had in his career. So I'm going the Bucks.
Thanks for figuring it out, Gary. I appreciate you. For those of you who don't know, that is my uncle. Appreciate you figuring out YouTube for us.
Thanks, Gary. Appreciate it.
I will openly admit that my father's side of the family is not super technologically inclined.
But technologically, this Bucks over cover.
Got it filled in. I will not copy and paste this. I will go the Buccaneers. I will get them to cover. I will go with the under.
No cover.
Oh, no. I think no, I'm definitely not saying. I did that once before and I was wrong. The Jets Broncos.
Well, I thought you were going to take a
that
page
came
at the
close.
Jake book here.
No,
not covering a 2.5 point spread.
I have breaking news. From our gentleman's bet. Tim changed his Raiders to not cover and the under. Breaking news. No. I've got the Buccaneers to cover and the under in this game. Baker Mayfield's played pretty well. It's clear that he has recovered from that shoulder injury he was dealing with in Cleveland, and then even a little bit there last year with the Panthers and the Rams. And I mean, you give him weapons like Mike Evans, and you give him weapons like Chris Godwin, and the running attack still has a lot to be, desired. But no, I've been impressed with what Baker Mayfield has done so far this season. So give me the Buccaneers to cover. I just don't think they get to 38 points. So 37.5 under.
Before you go, Jake,
under.
real quick, people commenting on my drinks, y'all don't need to worry about what's in these cups. Worry about football. Worry about the content we're providing. Don't worry about what's in my cup, in my bottle. It could be anything. It could be apple juice, man.
I love it.
Could be apple juice. You don't even know. There was no label on there. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Go ahead,
So this game.
By the way, Timmy took Bucks in the cover and the over. Timmy took Bucks cover and over.
This game is going to be terrible, just like the Raiders and Bears game, in my humble opinion. I think
you're wrong there.
No offense, but at the end of the day,
Disagree.
The
I
Bucks.
agree, Bill.
Oh. The Bucks are going to win, and they're going to cover. But Atlanta, Desmond Ritter's not the answer. I'd rather see Taylor Heineke, and I'm waiting for him to come in and actually play.
So that 2 weeks ago, and here we are.
A chance to win, but until they do that, I will not pick the Falcons. Give me the
Drake
Bucks.
May, baby.
Here's
cover and the under.
So
Drake May, Atlanta
Jake
Falcons
is going with
quarterback.
Jake is going with the same thing that I'm going with. I said that Ritter would be benched 2 weeks ago when they came back and beat whoever it was they beat. I don't remember. There's and I like watch tons of shows at this point, but I understand why they aren't playing Taylor Heineke at this point in time. It's because they know what they have in Taylor Heineke. They're trying to figure out what they can figure out with Desmond Ritter. They know it's not a winning season. They're not trying to win. They're trying to figure out what they've got at the quarterback position, because if they do end up losing, there's a couple of good quarterbacks coming up in this draft. Ryan will definitely correct me. He's so much better with college football quarterbacks that are coming out. But I mean, you're talking, you got Caleb Williams, who's likely to come out. You've got Bo Nix, who I think is likely to come out. You've got who's that third kid?
You've got Drake May. You've got
Thank you.
Penix Jr. from Washington. You've got Quinn Ewers from Texas. There's a handful of quarterbacks coming out. I think it's actually a fairly decent quarterback draft, which is why I keep saying Drake May to the Falcons.
And so they're going to look and they're going to take a good long look at Desmond Ritter because they want to know for sure what they have with Desmond Ritter. They are, like I said, we've got 4 years of tape on Taylor Heineke. They know what they have in Taylor Heineke.
That's the thing that blows my mind, right? Like you hear, like there's a whole world of NFL fans that actually think the Cardinals are like trying to lose games and all kinds of craziness. First off, I don't think anybody's trying to lose games, right? Like the Cardinals have been in multiple one-score games. They played the 49ers pretty tough. The score doesn't indicate what happened there. And they even have a win under their belts. So like the Cardinals are clearly not trying to lose games. To that thought, like that, there's just bad teams in the NFL, right? I think that the Falcons are going to be looking for quarterback help, but the reality is what Bill said. You know what you have in Taylor Heineke. Is it any better than what they have done now? No, they haven't. So you gotta run Desmond Ritter out there.
Sounds like Ryan and I are on the same page here. Jake, you're on your own little lone island out there. We're gonna have to get like an island icon.
I can save them the games and tell them they have an inaccurate quarterback. Like that doesn't have the arm strength.
That's not always it, right?
How much
better is
Taylor Heineke going to be than what Desmond Ritter is right now?
And moreover, you have the chance to see development in Ritter. Like if you see development by the end of the season, he's not making stupid mistakes. He's not turning the football over. He's really proficient. By the end of the season, that's something to build on going forward. Rather than draft a quarterback, you draft another position. Like, I don't know, offensive line.
No, offensive line's great. They have one of the best rushing attacks in the NFL.
Because of the guy, not the line. Don't come at me with that information.
Tyler Algier defense is atrocious, but can we
we're spending way too much time on the Falcons.
Yeah, Taylor Heineke is what he is. You know what that is by now, and it's not any better than what the Falcons have produced so far to this point. So,
correct.
The Falcons would be literally the exact same team they are today if Taylor Heineke started from day one.
I agree with Ryan. We're going to move on to the next game. We spent way too much time as people who are not Falcons fans talking about the Falcons. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
We're fans, all right.
That's fair. No, I mean, honestly, we do. Outside of him hating the Raiders as much as he does, we're pretty good at being objective. The Pittsburgh Steelers are visiting the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are favored by 3.5 points. The over-under is, man, that's a high over-under. I'm definitely going under there. I've taken the Steelers and it's bit me in the ass a couple times. I'll take the Rams here. We'll go with the Rams, and I don't see them to cover, so a 3-point win. And I've got the under. Yeah. Listen, Matt Stafford has looked pretty solid in his starts this year, turning the ball over at a much smaller tick than he had been doing previously. However, I still haven't seen anything out of that Rams offense that's like, oh my goodness, we're going to score points. And then the Steelers, they've just looked – I know Deontay Johnson was just reactivated, but, man, they have just looked abysmal. Najee Harris is terrible. I don't think Freiermuth's playing this week either.
Nope, he's back on the IR.
Freiermuth is the candidate for IR.
There we go. Yeah, so, I mean – it's not feeling it for the Steelers anymore. I was at the beginning of the season. That has officially gone away. I will take the Los Angeles Rams here to not cover and the under. Timmy took the Rams to cover and the over. Jake.
This one is actually going to hurt me. With Deontay Johnson coming back, that is Kenny Pickett's security blanket. They don't have a rushing attack, but that is a good offensive weapon there to come back and play. So I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to win this one. I think their defense will do enough to stop the Rams, and I have the under. TJ Watt is still an animal. And the Rams will not have any run game.
I want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. You're taking the Steelers and the under.
And the under.
I don't hate the pick. They bit me in the ass 3 weeks in a row. I'm not taking them again.
It's interesting that Bill should bring up the over-under. It's interesting Bill should bring up the over-under because my initial thought was, man, that's a high over-under too. However, with Deontay Johnson coming back, who is the number one wide receiver in the Pittsburgh offense, sorry, George Pickens truthers, you guys needed to hear that. I'm taking the Rams. Whereas Bill says, man, they've done nothing to show me that they're going to score points. They've shown me plenty that they're going to score points. They put up 30 at Seattle. They put up 23 against the 49ers. They put up 26 against the Cardinals last week. This is an offense that can move the football down the field and score some points. Likewise, I think that the Rams defense is pretty bad. So I think that the Steelers with their number one receiver, Deontay Johnson, number one receiver coming back, I believe that they'll also put up some points and that their offense will look a little bit better. So I'm actually going to take the over here with the Rams to cover because where others zig, I zag.
Well, Timmy zagged with you, so you're okay. Timmy took the Rams to cover in the over as well.
Timmy is, you know what? This is a family show. I love you, Timmy, but
I forget he's your son, right? And then Jake is Timmy's son.
I'm nobody's son.
I'll just be
Jake
the grandpa. Don't worry about it.
Oh, y'all funny.
And obviously,
grandpa, don't worry about it.
Looks did not, go down the genetic tree because, we go from me to Timmy to Jake, which is, we'll let you guys figure that out for yourselves.
Once again, if you guys are listening in on our show on anything that is not YouTube, please switch over to YouTube. Please interact with us on YouTube.
You can listen
really,
on
really
Twitch
appreciate
too.
it.
We'll be nice. We'll be nice and let you listen on Twitch too.
We do like Twitch. You can definitely listen in and interact on Twitch. Here's part of the issue, and I just want to give everybody an explanation. If you guys are listening on Twitter, I can't see your comments. We can't see your comments. It's hard for us to engage with you if we can't see your comments. So we'd appreciate it if you just flipped on over to 33-20. Okay. Good job, Bama, I guess. I don't really like Bama, but whatever. Switch on over to YouTube and subscribe. Again, like and share with anybody. Remember, we're other than looking really bad, we're a pretty decent sports talk show. You guys should come and join us.
Well, speak for yourselves, but Allie asks, where's Z Money at? And that's a great question. Where is Z Money at?
Where is the Cowboys win last week? Here to rub it in our...
Yeah, I thought he'd be here to rub it in our face.
Z Money was on my recap show on Tuesday with me. Now he was actually being extremely objective about the Cowboys and said they didn't look as good as he was hoping they would look.
I did see some of the comments.
Yeah,
he said Hurts looks like Dak and Dak looks like Hurts, which is a good thing for Dak and a bad thing for Hurts.
Correct. Yeah. So he's being very objective, which I was impressed by because historically Ryan knows Z Money has not been objective about the Cowboys. Hey, there you go, Pop. Way to figure it out. But yeah, so let's move on to the next game. I know we're doing a lot of really quick commercial breaks here, but again, we can't tell you enough how much it matters that you go to YouTube or Twitch and we appreciate
any kind of support. We would just rather you do it on YouTube.
We appreciate all the support. We just appreciate the kind that comes in the guidelines that we're telling you. That's all.
If you can't be an athlete, be an athletic supporter.
There you go. Be an athletic support. That's funny. Be a jockstrap. Let's go. Okay. All right. So the next game, let's move on to it. The Cardinals are visiting the Seahawks. Seahawks are clearly favored at 8.5 points. The over/under is 44.5. Jake gets first pick.
So I think there's enough tape here on Joshua Dobbs now that defenses are keying in on what he does. And that's why the Cardinals just haven't looked as good as they have in the beginning of the year. So I'm taking the Seahawks. They didn't have the best game against the Bengals last week. What?
Thank you, wife. I appreciate you saying that.
Okay,
I wish she had gone with
Switch
athletic
over.
support.
Anyway.
I wish she had gone with athletic support.
Yep. Jake, your take?
Just give me the Seahawks to cover and the under. I don't think the Cardinals are going to be able to put up enough offense against Seattle to go over the 44.5 points. A lot of these spreads are incredibly tough to me. And last week I went 10-5 with the over-under. So let's hope
Did
I
you?
can continue that trend.
So
You
got
went
the
10-5
Seahawks.
with over under last week, but you finished
That's what saved
sub
my week.
500 overall.
Yep.
Jesus Christ, you suck at this.
Sorry, buddy. Give me that again. Seahawks.
Seahawks to cover and the under.
Okay. Ryan. Timmy took the Seahawks to cover in the over.
Well, of course. Do you just want to tell everybody that Tim picked the over for every single game?
No, I wanted it to be a surprise for people following along.
No.
And then he changed
that's
the one for
hilarious.
the Raiders. But he
We
changed the one
have
for the
to
Raiders.
announce that Tim picked the over for every. I don't even know if Tim realizes he picked the over for every single game.
The man's not here to defend himself. That's not fair.
He's in the chat. He's here.
For
But,
what it's worth, Jake has only picked one over. So his is the complete opposite of Tim's.
The Seahawks
Literally only 3
disappointed
games
me.
last week went over. And that's why I went 10-5. Is I picked so many under games.
Last week was a shitty week for fantasy. It was a crappy week if you picked the overs. It was terrible. However, the Seahawks disappointed me last week against the Bengals. Coming off a bye, I thought they would play better, and they didn't. The Seahawks are going to disappoint me again. Not in the fact that they're not going to win straight up, which is what I'm picking them to do, but they're not going to cover. I think that they win by a touchdown. And I think that this game goes over. I think the Seahawks defense has been incredibly suspicious for the most part this year. And the Cardinals offense has been a pleasant surprise. Also, in 3 weeks, we get to talk about the Cardinals in a different tune. You know why? Because Kyler Murray comes back.
Kyler Murray. Yeah, that's correct.
So give me the Seahawks, no cover, but the over.
Listen, I hate the term. I hate the term trap game. But I feel like this is it. It's an interdivision foe who hasn't looked great this season, has looked good at times, but hasn't looked great. And I like what the Cardinals have been able to do on the defensive side of the ball for the most part. Obviously, they've given up some extra points late in the game, and that's been a little bit tragic. However, I don't think Geno Smith is the type of quarterback that they faced in other assets. So I'm going to take the Cardinals to win this game. And I believe the over is accurate. Listen, I know what the Seahawks are doing, and I know how good the Seahawks look. And I think that's the reason the Seahawks lose, is I think they're looking past Joshua Dobbs and the Arizona Cardinals. I have no idea who's on their schedule next week, and that doesn't bother me. I think, oh my goodness, I'm going to say this out loud, and it's going to hurt my brain. Jonathan Gannon is going to have his team ready to go against Seattle next week. And I think the Cardinals come away with a win. What's up, Z Money? Finally joining in. You already missed us talking about you. No, it's my first one, brother.
Are we sure?
Listen, I have until 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock tomorrow to change this pick, and I'm sure that it might change. However, sitting here right now, based on all the things that are running through my head right now, I've got the Cardinals coming out victorious. And I know I don't have any statistical things that jump out off the paper and say, yeah, man, the Cardinals are going to win because of X, Y, and Z. I've just got this feeling in my gut that the Seahawks are going to, I should say it more like this. The Seahawks will lose this game.
I really hope you change this pick and then the Cardinals win.
There's always that fear. There's always that fear. But listen, I've just got this feeling in my gut that the Cardinals are going to come out and play some thanks, E-Money, smash mouth football in Seattle, and they shock the crowd and shut them up. And then Seattle can't get on track. I don't know why. I've just got this weird gut feeling. So I've got the Cardinals and the over. I'm taking it. I'm doing it. Ryan gets the next pick. I feel like we were just watching a very similar game. The Green Bay Packers are visiting the I know, right? Denver Broncos. Packers are favored by 1.5. The over-under is 45.5. We know that Jake takes the Broncos because he's an idiot. But Ryan, what do you take?
He wants to take the Broncos.
Stupid does. Huh? Yes, I do. I do want to take the Broncos. Oh my God. Oh.
Are you? Because I already typed it in. I feel like if it's typed in, it should be good. Z Money says the Cowboys beat the bye week.
For once. First time in 25 years they've beaten a bye week. But
last time he was here, he talked about the Broncos and lost by 50. Talk about you, Jake.
Thank you.
Oh man. Wow, Jake. I'm gonna regret this, but I'm taking the Broncos. Oh man. I don't have any logic or reason behind that. I'm not thoroughly convinced that the Packers are a decent football team. I know they have a decent offense at times. I know they have a decent defense at times, but they kind of, go like this as Jordan Love does. He has his ebbs and flows. The Broncos offense somewhat looks consistent-ish a little bit. Yeah, man, I don't know. Just the Broncos at home really is kind of the pull here. That, and I don't have to pick them to cover. So even if the Packers win a 1-point game, I still get a W there. I guess I'm thinking about it more strategically. I'm definitely taking the over. I mean, neither one of these defenses are, anything to talk about. So I'm just not going to talk about them. But I know y'all seen that post that Russell Wilson has better stats than Mahomes on the season. That is true, but Russell Wilson is playing for stats. He is not throwing the ball away on third down. He's not making decisions that would help his team win. He is making decisions that would help pad his stats. And that's why his stats are better. And that's why his team sucks. And Patrick Mahomes' team doesn't.
Listen, I see your face, Jake, but before I let you fire back at Ryan on that one, I 100% agree with that statement. Because if you're watching these games, Mahomes is doing what it takes for his team to win, not what it takes for him to look good. Because I feel like Russell's feeling all this pressure on that big contract in Denver. He feels the need to have better statistics so that when they're questioning why they're 1 in a million in the next 2 seasons, they can't point at Russell Wilson and say, well, it's his fault because if you look at his stats look good. So I feel like that's exactly how it's going. Having said that, I don't have faith in Jordan Love. And I also am taking the Broncos. And I just hate myself for even saying it out loud. However, 45, 24, 21 is 45. Yeah, I have them under. I got 24-21 game. It's exactly 45 points. And I know that's a tight window to try and squeeze into there, but yeah, that's where I'm at. Before Jake gets his pick on his team, if you are watching Joey Silva on Facebook, if you could please go to Joey Silva YouTube and please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. We would greatly, Joey Silva, appreciate it. Thank you.
I needed another apple juice because I just picked the Broncos.
Oh, man. One, I see in the comments that Tim Hawkins said, I have more faith in Jordan Love than the Broncos defense. Have you not been watching the Broncos defense the last 2 weeks? They held the Jets. I know it didn't say 19 points on the scoreboard.
Here we go.
But it did. And then we held the...
All right, back to the real host of the show because this is just getting so difficult to watch.
Already difficult.
I'm sorry, Jake. Go ahead, buddy. I'm sorry.
Man, the hate is real. The hate is really real.
Is it not deserved?
I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers here.
Shut the front door. Oh, Ryan, I don't know if we made the right decision here. But...
Wait, what?
All right, Packers.
Hold up.
Packers.
I believe that Sean Payton is tanking on purpose for a quarterback this next year. I know the contract. I know what Ryan's going to say here.
Oh, hey, you forgot to mention how we used to do Tim last year.
We did used to do that to Tim last year. I forgot about that. From now on, that's what I'll do. You know what? I'm tired of hearing this anyway. Jake's been fired. He took the Packers. I didn't hear the rest of his picks. It's not a big deal. I'm just kidding. That's my bad, buddy. Go ahead. Keep going.
Man, the other disrespect in this right now.
That's
I'm going to
because
take the Packers and I'm going to take the over.
I forgot
think
we haven't
Vance
given Jake
Joseph
access
is not
yet, so
a
he can't
good
do it to
DC,
us.
and I don't think anybody can stop anybody.
Packers in the over.
Yep. Oh, and the Packers to
Packers cover,
cover.
I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Or you picking no
yeah,
cover?
Yeah.
1.5 point spread. I'm going to take the Packers not to cover.
Huh?
All right, I can't take him seriously. He's fired again.
What?
I seriously,
This dude's betting on the 1 point game?
I forgot that he doesn't have access to our stuff yet, so he can't like add himself back, which makes this
Yes, he
so much
can.
better.
He does have access to our stuff.
Oh,
He
does he?
absolutely does.
Oh, darn. Well, that
I'm
was
just
fun
letting you
while
run
we
the
missed it.
show. It's your show.
No, bro, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Jesus.
All right, so the Packers
Well,
to not
technically,
cover and the
yeah.
over.
Tim Hawkins, yes, I know I tried to defend their defense, and honestly, I just want to be wrong here. So that is why I'm picking the Packers. And
Hey,
that's
I can
why I'm
respect
picking-
that. I can
You know what?
respect
I
that.
respect that because I respect it. Chargers
All
Chiefs.
right, so
This should be a good game.
Chargers visiting the Chiefs, 5.5 point spread for the Chiefs. Over under 48.5 points. The Chargers have played the Chiefs extremely well. However, I don't believe Herbert has beaten the Chiefs yet. Is that accurate?
Justin Herbert's 0-6 against the Chiefs. However, he's lost every game by one score.
Correct. I get the first pick on this one. I like that. It's in Kansas City, so clearly I'm going for the Chargers.
I
What?
see. You haven't been on the show long enough, Jake. I expected that. That wasn't even a curveball to me.
No. I took the Chargers last year in Kansas City too, and they almost won. I think it was a last second drive by Patrick Mahomes. Surprise there, right?
But
Patrick
Herbert's
Mahomes makes a
0-6.
last second drive. Yeah. But even with the fractured finger, I got the Chargers here. Kellen Moore's listen, that offense is getting better week in, week out. And the Chiefs, while they are 5-1, and I understand that, have not been impressive at 5-1. So give me the Chargers. Definitely the over. Anybody watching this game, I think, is going to take the over. Jake.
Man, okay, so Chiefs defenses look good, but to me, this is the first real offense that they've faced this year. So I'm judging it solely off of what I've seen, and I'm probably going to be wrong here, but I'm going to take the under in this game. But
You haven't told me the team. What good is the under if you don't tell me the team?
I want to take the
He
Chargers
doesn't have
here.
to do it in order. I've done it out of order.
Give me the Chargers and give me the under solely because I think the Chiefs defense is good this year, but also the Chiefs offense hasn't looked like themselves. The receivers aren't getting
Right.
open.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is literally holding on the ball because he can't get it to anybody. And they're double, triple teaming Travis Kelce. So the under to me is the easy bet here. And I think Vegas knows
honestly,
that. That's why it's not 50.
honestly, last year you'd have been laughed at for that pick. Last year you'd been laughed at for that pick. I agree, man. I think that, this game is definitely the under. I'm taking the Chiefs no cover under. And I'm not even 100% confident about the Chiefs part, to be honest with you. As you've touched on, the Chiefs offense just does not look like a prototypical Chiefs offense that you would think of. It's clear that they don't have receiving help. I know Rashee Rice kind of looks like he's stepping up a little bit more and more each week, but ultimately it's Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce in the passing game. And they've relied mostly on their running game, which I didn't really expect. So, but until the Chargers actually beat the Chiefs, I'm not going to pick them to. So give me the Chiefs no cover under.
Presto17, thanks for joining in. I don't know if I've seen that name before. Is it somebody one of you guys know?
Yeah, it's one of my guys. And Presto,
That's fine. Either way,
Preston,
thank you for
if you
joining
don't
in.
believe my picks, bet against me and let me know how you do. Okay? That's how
Jersey
you
bet.
Jake is
choose it.
Jake
Jersey
is
bet.
in third place.
Yeah, I'm the one you shouldn't trust in this particular moment. Except I did win last year, so
Yeah, but see what
Title
happens
Bill.
when you don't cheat, Bill.
I didn't cheat. You know I didn't cheat, so stop saying it. I'm just stupid and can't do math. That's not the same thing.
Fair enough.
Yeah, weird. Every math miscalculation worked out in Bill's favor. You guys let me know what you think about that. Cheating?
No, it
or
didn't.
Just math,
It was all in the loss column last year, and actually I had added up more losses for myself than was actual. And you guys were like, "Oh, you're cheating," when in reality, when you fixed it, it made me look better.
Anyway,
In
Dolphins
any
at
case.
Eagles on Sunday Night Football. The Eagles are the 2.5 point favorites. Over under is 52.5. Jake, you're the first pick.
Game of the week here. I want to see if the Eagles can fix their offense here. I don't know what happened last week. I tried to ask Ryan. I thought the Eagles were handling that game just fine. And then next thing you know, ESPN told me that
Trap game.
they had lost. So I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Vegas agrees it's 52.5 points. Dolphins offense, hard to stop. I think the Eagles line can stop it. Stop the run at least for the Dolphins, but I see a high-scoring game. And give me the Dolphins to win this. I'm sorry. I just don't see the Eagles winning.
All right, I got to get into it. I've got to get into it. We're going to go back to your pick. I heard you say Dolphins and something else. There should be a drinking game for the NFL right now when the Chiefs are on television. Every time they go to T-Swizzle, Taylor Swift, you need to chug a beer because holy, pardon my language, if there are any kids out there, fucking shit. Am I so sick and tired of seeing Taylor Swift on my TV when I'm trying to watch football? Are you kidding me? I'm not part of the paparazzi. I don't give a shit that she's at the stadium. Please just let me watch the damn football game.
William.
Anyway.
Your language.
My mom just smacked me in the mouth on Thursday. Relax.
Anger does not look good on you, brother.
Anyway.
That's not even close to anger, my friend.
You know what? I brought up Jake's reasoning for picking the Packers as great reasoning. And I'm doing the same thing here. I'm picking the Dolphins. I am. 1, they look really, really fast. 2, they look really, really good on offense. Outside of getting punched in the face by the Bills, like really bad, the Dolphins really haven't slipped up this year.
It was a check game.
However, stylistically, this is a bad matchup for the Dolphins because it's not the Eagles' defense that hasn't played bad. It's the Eagles' offense. But Miami's defense played pretty bad this year. They're actually really, really bad. So I'm taking the over, and I'm taking the Dolphins. By the way, Jake, I don't know if you knew this. Bill, I know you knew this because I texted to you earlier in the week. The record of the teams that the Dolphins have beat are a combined 5-25 this year. They only beat bad teams.
And because of that statistic that I was about to bring up, I'm going with the Eagles.
Not
sound like a
enough.
homer? That's fine. I like what you did there. I like the Eagles in this game. I like them to cover because I definitely don't think it'll be a 1-point game, 2-point game. And I definitely have the over. They are 1,000% going to bounce back offensively after that disappointment last week, because it's what they did last year after the Washington and the Colts game. It's what they did after Jalen Hurts got hurt, and then they played that tough game against New York. But then the first game they played in the playoffs was New York, and they beat them by 45 points. This Eagles team has resilience. They get punched in the mouth and they bounce back, and they're going to do it in prime time against a good Dolphins team, and they're going to really show out. So I've got the Eagles to cover in the over. I'm right with Timmy on this one. So you guys can have your Dolphins in the over. Timmy and I will stand tall. We'll go with the Eagles to cover in the over.
So since we all picked the over, it's going to be a 2017 game, right? Like whoever wins, and it's going to be 14-17.
24-17 is what I had.
That's way under. That's incredibly under.
Rough.
That's like not even in the same realm.
No. You're saying like it's going to be this score because I'm saying no, it'll be this score. Is my point. No, I had it. I had it like. Yes,
I thought like you seriously picked them to win 24-17 and like you picked the over. I'm like, buddy, I've got some bad news for you.
No. No, I do have the over. I've got like a 34-27 type game. Last game on the docket. 49ers on Monday night visiting the Vikings. Niners are
some
favored
interesting injury news about this game before we go ahead and make our picks. Trent Williams is doubtful. Deebo Samuel is out. until at least through week 10. And Christian McCaffrey limited practice today, so I assume he'll probably play Saturday or
Limit.
excuse me.
I
Monday
assume
night.
they'll limit him.
Yeah.
I assume they'll limit him. Ryan, you get first pick in that game.
I'm taking the Niners. I mean, as long as Christian McCaffrey plays, I'm taking the Niners. I'm taking them not to cover, though. I know Jay Jettas is out. That's a big loss for the Vikings. However, wow, that an upset that would be. Oh my God, that would be an upset if the Vikings.
Yeah, for those
won
of you listening,
50-7.
Z Money said Vikings upset 50-7.
But what he forgot is that it's Kirk Cousins in prime time, so there's no way that the Vikings are going to win. Let's be honest. 49ers to not cover. I do think it's within one score. No Trent Williams, no Deebo Samuel will hurt them. However, Christian McCaffrey has been their guy since the trade anyway, and I'm taking the under there.
So not cover, right?
Not cover. No cover. Within one touchdown.
Copy and paste. Actually, no, you know what? I think the Niners do cover the 7.5 point spread. I think Shanahan is really good at making game plans when his stars are not in. We've seen it a few times throughout the years. And I think he does it again. I think they win by 10. But I agree. I don't think it gets to 44.5 primarily because of primetime Cousins and how he will not score as many points. So I've got the 49ers to cover and correct 49ers to cover and the under. Jake.
Yeah, all the 49ers need to do here is kiss. So keep it simple, stupid. Like Brock Purdy tried to do way too much last week. Yes, a bunch of his players went down, but he got rattled. And I think the 49ers win this game. I don't think they cover, but I have the over at 44.5.
Okay. You said you don't think they cover and the over?
Yep. I think it's a closer game than we think. Yes, there's a primetime Kirk Cousins, but, we'll see how that goes.
All right, sounds good. The only other thing I have on my agenda right here and right now is to tell you that if you're not watching on YouTube or Twitch, you should be watching on YouTube or Twitch. We appreciate all of the followers who give us any kind of attention. What did we call it earlier? Athletic support or, jock straps. Thank you for being the jock strap for us. And go Phillies. Hopefully, you guys can go 3-2 since you shit the bed last night. And yeah, thank you for joining us here on BSing Sports, part of the BSing Network, where we do a little BS and we talk a whole lot of sports. Have a good night.